Hello and welcome. This is Melanie Foote-Davis, author, speaker, freedom catalyst, and founder of the Love and Freedom Academy, where I teach women strategies to say yes to creating the life they want. I help them to move past, like, to silence the inner critic and to move past the barriers that stand in the way of them and their purpose. With the tools that I provide, they learn to say yes to their heart's desire, yes to living a radically bold and courageous life. So, thank you for joining us. And you know how we do it here at the Love and Freedom Academy. I'm going to ask a few things of you. One is to grab a pen and paper or whatever it is that you use for your notes so that you're able to capture any aha moments or breakthroughs that our guest today has to share. Also, make sure you're taking care of yourself. So do whatever you need to make sure that you're fully present for this conversation. Grab your water, your tea, your coffee, your wine, or whatever your beverage of choice is. Diffuse your oils, light your candles, or do whatever it is to make your space safe for you to grow and learn and be able to absorb what we have to share today. So if you need to hit pause to go take care of that, then do that and then come back and join us because we have some exciting things for you today. So I'm really excited about introducing my guest today. Um, she is an amazing woman who I met recently, but our hearts just connected on a soul level, and I don't even know where to go with this. So her name is Rochelle Joseph, and she is the founder and owner of the Beatific Collection. So welcome, Rochelle. I'm glad to have you today.
Thank you, Melanie. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
So it was really interesting. So I'll just tell you a little bit about where Rochelle and I met. We met at PolishCon, which was a conference that was hosted in Providence, Rhode Island. And I was there as a speaker, and she and I happened to be sitting near each other. And she had, as you can see, she had this smile that really just like her whole face just lights up when she smiles, and you can't help but feel the warmth. But it was something about her that I was drawn to. And even my husband said, I think you need to speak with her, right? You two need to hook up, right? And I don't know if you remember, he was even ready to go and just pass you my card. And I was like, I'll talk to her. But I was glad to have him there to have my back. And we started talking, and it was just a beautiful exchange. And so I'm really glad to have you here. So one of the things, and I'm going to tell you all, I am going to refer to my notes from time to time because you know I'm a talker and I'll get sidetracked. So I need to stay on task. Anyway, one of the things that when I looked into some things that you had and I went to your Instagram page, I saw something that really pulled me in. And I was like, yes, I absolutely need to have her on as a guest. And it was something about 7 days of joyful intent. So can you tell us a little bit about what joyful intent means for you? And
Well, joyful intent. I started um that challenge, or I just wanted to be intentional about making sure that I did something that I enjoyed, because I'm a mom of 2 boys. I'm a wife, and I play a lot of other roles. And, with all of that, like, it gets busy, and I sometimes forget to do things for myself, forget to do things that, I enjoy, or just, forget to just take time and just sit and be still. So the joyful intent is just choosing something each day intentionally that, you know, I like, that brings me joy. Like, it could be, okay, today I'm going to take a walk outside, and I'm just going to go. I'm going to, enjoy the weather, enjoy the, nature. I might, take time out to go to um, my favorite spot, I love going to the beach. So sometimes I just, like, after work, I just drive and I go to the beach and I sit and, maybe for half an hour. So I just sit and be still. So joyful intent is just about, taking the time to be intentional about doing things that bring me joy.
I love that. I love that. And the reason, I love it for so many reasons, but even for me this year, one of the things that I said was I was going to make sure that I increase my bliss tolerance. So I'm on this whole increase the bliss campaign. And the reason why I say use the word tolerance is because sometimes when you're so used to being, well, I'll just speak for myself, but I know that this resonates with other women because I hear it all the time. Sometimes when we're so used to things, there's always something to do, somewhere to go, whatever. And when it comes to things that actually make us feel juicy and yummy inside, right?
Mm-hmm.
We feel it for a moment and then we may feel guilty about having a little joy,
Yeah.
about feeling blissful for a moment and just having a moment of peace because our honey-do list, right, is so full of tasks that comes with being a mom, a wife, a sister, a friend, a colleague, all of these different things that we get caught up in the everyday task and we forget to enjoy life. And
Yeah.
so I want to increase my tolerance for it by allowing the joy to settle in and fully be present with the things that come and bring me peace. So that joyful intent piece that you had, where you were being very intentional about doing things that bring you joy, really resonates with me. And here's the other thing. You didn't mention that you had to jump on a plane and fly somewhere. You didn't mention that you need to have a lot of money. All of the things that you mentioned were very simple things that were easily accessible to you all along, but you were
Yeah.
just being more intentional about it.
Yes, and that's something important because a lot of times, like you said, I don't have to hop on a plane. That might be great. I love vacations, but that's not something that you can do all the time. And we don't only deserve to be happy and blissful, twice a year when we can go on vacation or when we can afford, a spa day. We deserve that every day. Joy is something that we owe to ourselves and we deserve.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then one of the things I noticed you also had with the beatific collection, I noticed you had T-shirts that said joyful and mugs that said joyful, and the colors were really pretty and vibrant, and they remind you of the water. What inspired you to start the beatific collection?
Well, what inspired me is I wanted to create a collection of things that help to highlight, because I highlight the joy I feel on the inside, on the outside. So it might not be every day. Like, I don't, dress up every single day, but there might be times that I feel like, on the weekends or maybe even just one day when I'm going to take my son to school and pick him up. I might just want to get something extra, like to, just put on that extra pizzazz or that, um, just something extra to, highlight what I feel on the inside. That doesn't mean that every other day I'm not feeling it, but, there's just sometimes that as women, we just need to, put on that stuff on the outside. In the Beatific collection, the T-shirts and the jewelry, the mugs, everything there, it's bright and colorful. Just sometimes it takes seeing that reminder, like in the morning when I'm going to get my coffee, I grab the mug and it's joyful. The colors, like, I'm like, oh my goodness, like colors sometimes incite certain feelings in us, just like you might smell something that might bring you back to a certain time, and colors do the same thing for me. So I just wanted to create a collection that can, help to do that for someone else, to spread that joy.
I thinking about dressing up and putting things on that make you feel good, and I get that because sometimes, like some days I don't like, or most days I don't wear much makeup. I may throw on some mascara and some lip gloss and go, and then other days I do a little bit more because I feel, hey, let me just use it up a bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm thinking about even when I was at the conference, I had the privilege of wearing one of your jewelry pieces, right? And I see that you're wearing it today.
Yes, I love this one. This is one of my favorites.
Right. And when I put it on, I felt amazing in it. And so it's not just about, like, of course joy is an internal thing, but
Hmm.
there's nothing wrong with bringing more beauty on the outside to things that make us feel good, because we don't the jewelry doesn't wear us, we wear it.
Yeah.
And I felt amazing in it, with the seashells and all those things. Like, I love being around water, and I felt very connected and centered in it.
Yes, that's my whole reason behind it. Like when you feel it on the inside already, but sometimes like your smile says it all, first of all. But sometimes you want that extra, and when I put this on, or when anything that I put on and I put extra thought into it, that's also, a form of, self-care, and when you take care of yourself, you feel, helps you to feel better about yourself. So that's that's something I like to do.
Yeah, like, here's something. Okay, I'm gonna share something silly. So this, right? I have my water. I have my wild orange essential oils in it to add a little flavor, right?
Okay.
Plus, that wild orange is invigorating, and it evokes like feelings of abundance and all of that. But I'm drinking it in a wine glass because sometimes that just makes me feel like I just dressed up my water.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just the silliest things
Hmm.
that I'll do, or I won't even say silly, but it's the simplest thing that can make a difference. And like
Yeah.
me, I get a kick out of that occasionally. And so here I am drinking water from a wine glass because I feel like I'm out having a nice day with the sister, and I am. I'm having time with it. And so we're sharing all this with you all to just say that sometimes things can be so simple,
Yeah.
and we tend to overcomplicate things. So, what are the things? Like, think right now, just pause for a moment and write on your paper. Like, ask yourself, what are the things that bring me joy? And then write down, how can I get more of that? How can I invite more of that into my daily regimen? And think about the things that are surrounding you all the time that you may have just, you no longer pay attention to, but you could be more intentional about it. What are the things that you used to do that were for you? Not for your family, not for your kids, not for your job, but the things that were just for you. So when you go to the beach or something after work, how does that help? How does that make you feel? And how do you avoid doing that without feeling guilty?
Um, well, in the beginning, I do feel guilty because I'm not heading straight home, and I do enjoy time with my family, but, I do also need that time to myself. But when I get there, like, I don't know, the water and the beach, that's just my calm place. I get there and it's like everything just melts away. I sit there, I might, get, coffee or get a snack or something. And I just go and I sit on the bench, or I might just sit in my car and I have the windows down and I close my eyes and I listen to the waves crashing. That's very relaxing to me. And I hear the birds and I just allow myself to let go of whatever's stressing me out or whatever external issues might be going on, and just be there in the moment and feel the sea breeze, feel, you know, whatever is going on, listen to the birds, smell the water, smell the salt water. Like, I just it's just the whole experience that, you know, as soon, like, that's my place. Like, as soon as I get there, everything just automatically, sometimes just everything else just shuts off and I'm just there in the moment. And I think that is very important. And there was a while that I didn't go to the beach, but like I'd go on vacation and, you know, I'd love it. So even in the wintertime, I live in New York, and, you know, we just have, we just are getting out of the really cold season. But even in the winter, I still, it might seem crazy. I might have been like one of two people there or the only person there, but I still went because, you know, it just made me feel at peace.
I that's something else we have in common because I too enjoy being at water or near the water. And so being in Chicago, you know, we have Lake Michigan there. I don't necessarily live close to it. I mean, it's only about 30, 35 minutes away. But some days, just to even break up the monotony of, you know, day to day routine, I grab my laptop and I call it Take Your Office to the Beach Day. And so I work from, you know, I set up camp and I sit there, and that's where I sometimes do my work on a good day. And like you, if it's cool, I just may sit in the car, but I'm just around the water and it centers me. It calms, it kind of just takes away everything else and it helps me find my center so that I'm able to be more creative. I'm able to tap into who I am, clear my
Mhm.
head, and things like that. So, you and I had a conversation, and during our conversation, you said something that really stood out for me. And you were talking about, you know, we were having a conversation about this whole purpose of doing the joyful intent, you know, 7 days of joyful intent. And we talked about you being a mom, and
Mhm.
you mentioned how you've learned to actually be fully present with your kids when you're out with them playing, whereas before it was more about making sure they're safe, which is
Mhm.
what we do as nurturers. We want to make sure we're protecting our cubs, we're making sure the environment is safe, no one gets hurt, and sometimes that can actually take on a life of its own, and we forget the joy of being present even with our kids.
Mhm.
And it's not intentional, it just becomes our way of being. And that's why it stood out to me because I was like, wow, she got it. But that's not something that many people are conscious of.
Mhm.
So, how did you come? Like, was there a specific incident or something that led you to that awareness?
Um, well, one thing, my kids, like, they, they're one of the things that really alerted me that I needed to be present because, um, like, one example is like in the afternoons after school time, like that was like a high stress time, you know, like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, you know, it's a long day and I'm stressed out. They're, you know, have high energy. And I'm just worried about, okay, homework gets done, dinner gets prepared. And I was like up here. And I noticed that, you know, they were just like being extra. And when I didn't stress as much about, you know, sticking to the regimen or what I wanted to get done, I found that they were a lot more relaxed. And, you know, that's when I noticed that, you know, I needed to sometimes get out of myself and get out of, I'm sorry, are you hearing me correctly?
Yes, I am.
Okay, my screen is it's kind of slow right now. Um, yeah, but I just noticed that I just needed to get out of that, you know, drill sergeant mode. um, Not really, but, you know, just get out of that, like, you know, you need to do this, you need to do this, and just be present. You know, they weren't like acting, they weren't being, you know, bad. They were just, you know, being kids. And I just needed to, you know, take the time to be present and enjoy that time. Like, they might have just wanted to play when I was trying to, you know, cook dinner or I was trying to, you know, get something else done. But I just needed to take that time and be present, to smile, laugh, just play with them, and I found that when I did that, when I was present, that, everything worked a lot better. So that was one thing that definitely alerted me to the need for me to be present.
So here's the thing. The thing about that is that you are so not the only one experiencing that. And what I noticed with what you said with um is like you were here, and
Mhm.
basically they were too, because they were being kids full of energy and full of life. But we we often transfer our energy too. And so
Yeah.
when we're uptight because we have all these things on our mind, all the things that we have to do, dinner, check, homework, check, bath time, check, all of these other things that we have to check, check,
Mhm.
check, then it takes us away from being right here, being mindful of what's happening, being here and now. Like that saying, wherever you are, be all there.
Yeah.
But the kids also feel that level of intensity, and it's not even intentional as parents, but they feel that level of intensity where they're sometimes not even sure whether they can ask a question because you know we're uptight in a sense, but we don't
Mhm.
want to be. And so I think it's really good that you became aware of that, because now do you and your kids have a different experience when you're really mindful and you're really all there?
Mhm.
Like, do you see a difference in them, right?
I do. I definitely do. When I'm more relaxed, that doesn't mean things don't get done, but when I'm more relaxed, they're more relaxed. And then when I notice like them doing certain things, and sometimes I got to check in with myself. I'm like, okay, how am I? You know, am I projecting that to them? I mean, that might not always be the case, but a lot of the times it is. I might be stressed out myself, so I have to sometimes just not project that on them, or whatever else might be going on. I just need to be present and enjoy
Yeah.
the moment.
Mhm.
So yeah, I definitely do see an improvement.
Yeah, because it even happens like it's not just with kids, but with everyone.
Yeah.
For example, even with my husband, and I'm
Hmm.
still working on it. I'm a work in progress. But when I'm mindful of it, I had started this thing, and somehow I stopped. Now that I think about it, so I need to go back to it. Where we were in the car together, I had made a conscious decision that when once he gets in the car or once I get in the car with him, like it depends on if he's picking me up or if I'm picking him up or what have you, that whatever phone conversations I'm having, that they're going to stop and that I'm going to be in the car and engage in conversation with him. Like be mindful about being more present with him as opposed to in the car together, but I'm on my phone responding to text or emails or having a conversation. And so
Hmm.
I started being able to even say to the people I was speaking with that in a few minutes I'm going to be with my husband, so I'm going to end the call. So let's prepare to wrap up now because I'm going to need to disconnect in the next few minutes, or just putting my phone down and not checking text messages. And I noticed that that really helps us because I know that he appreciates it, that I'm respecting that time that we're together.
Hmm.
Because we do that all the time where we're talking to someone that's standing with us or sitting with us, but we're looking at our phone and looking at, which means we aren't all there.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does. It does. And my husband and I have something similar going on. Like sometimes when you're in the car, if especially if we're not talking about anything at the moment, I might look at my phone, and when you get on your phone, you're caught up in it, and you spend all this time on it when you didn't mean to in the first place. So, when we're in the car together, or whenever we're just, by ourselves, or, we have that time to actually spend together, we try to be mindful about not having our noses in our phones, because that's like, not only is it a time waster, but you know, it also gets sometimes in the middle of us being present with the people around us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it helps each person in that partnership feel
Hmm.
heard and feel seen and feel valued.
Yeah.
When that phone or that device, whatever that is taking us away from them, then that's also taken away from the relationship. And so
Hmm.
again, I say I'm a work in progress, but this is a part of the growth process because we're all growing. And
Yeah.
so I just want to make sure I mention that I don't have it all. I'm not perfect and that I'm perfectly imperfect and that I'm still growing and learning how to do things as well. And as I learn and grow, I am definitely going to share. And then the thing is, sometimes we can feel so alone, like we're the only ones there experiencing it, but it's not true. That's totally not true. Rochelle, are you still there? I'm going to pause for a moment. I think I lost our guest. And so we'll be right back with you in a moment. One of the things that I was sharing is that I am perfectly imperfect. And that's one of the things that I'm really encouraging you to do too, is to release that need to be perfect in everything that we do. That's one of the things that will cause us to procrastinate more. That's one of those things that keeps us from being able to be fully in ourselves because we're waiting for the right time, the right message, for everything to be aligned perfectly before we take a step. And we don't have to. What will happen is it will keep us away from being able to experience our good because we're actually delaying our process because we're caught up in perfection. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pause for a moment and see if I can find our guest. So just hold on. Guess who's back?
Oh, sorry about that.
Technology is great when it works, right? So one of the
Mhm.
things I was saying when we right as we lost you was that I am perfectly imperfect, and that many times we are so caught up on trying to have it all together. We wear these masks where we have to look like we have it together, or we wait on doing something, whatever that something is, because we want it to be the right time and we want everything to be perfectly aligned with the stars and all of these things that we wait, and perfection actually delays our progress and it keeps
Mhm.
us from being able to fully experience our good. And so learning to release that need to be perfect before we do things or before we share it. And so the fact that we're actually sharing this information with you all today, the fact that you were able to even share your experience about being present with your kids is it requires a level of vulnerability and being
Mhm.
able to admit that there are moments when we don't have it all together. And I thank you for sharing that because many women think that they're the only ones experiencing it.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think that's why it's important to have like a community or just, you know, some close people that you're open to being vulnerable with, that you trust, because a lot of the times we're all going through the same things. You know, people might be walking around and on the outside they look like everything is together, but on the inside or behind closed doors everything is not together, you know, and we might be having the same issues. So that's why it's important to have that community where you can share and be open and you can talk to each other about what's going on, because even if you're not going through it right now, you might have gone through it before, you know, or if that's a weak point in me and in myself, you know, that might be a strong point with you, and you could share, you know, how I can get through it and how I can, you know, how I can learn, you know. So that's what I really think is important to, you know, just to have people around, you know, whether it's a coach or a community or friends, you know, that you can share with.
Absolutely. And even in the environment we met in, there was a lot of vulnerability, which means there was a lot of courage in that room. And it takes, and that's actually a strong quality to be willing to be vulnerable. Sometimes we avoid it because we see being vulnerable as being a weakness, but actually, that's where we find our greatest strength. When we
Mm-hmm.
let go of all of those things, let go of the perfection. I believe it's Terry Murphy who says that perfection is poison. And it is. It can really poison you because you can be so attached to having to present like everything is well when things are not well. And if we're not well inside,
Mm-hmm.
then we're essentially taking ourselves away from the very things that are important to us, which is usually our families, our dreams and all of those things, because we're losing sight of who we are in all of those masks that we're wearing.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that last thing that you said. The volume is going down.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said that we tend to lose sight of who we are
Yeah.
and lose ourselves because of all the masks that we are wearing. And so, what was it that gave you the courage to be able to even share that?
I just, there was a point that I realized that, you know, I'm going through certain things and there has to be someone else that is. And sometimes this is one thing that really sticks to me. Sometimes we can be the answer to someone else's prayer, and that's one thing that sticks with me and pushes me to share because I might be shy, or I might be apprehensive to share, but me sharing could really help someone else, and I can't hold that back. So that's why it's really important for me to share with other people what I'm going through.
Yeah, that's huge because we really are. And I have this saying that I say that I am a part of her assignment and she's a part of mine. And it's so true, just
Mm-hmm.
like our paths cross because we're on assignment and we're here to serve in some capacity. And sometimes we think we're meeting someone for a specific reason and we find that we're really there for another. So the fact that our paths cross is because we are a part of each other's assignment.
Mm-hmm.
We may not even be clear about what it is just yet.
Yeah.
It looks like we were brought together based on your mission to invite more joy into your life, my mission to increase the bliss and help other women to activate their own joy, right? But it's probably so much bigger than that.
Yeah.
This is just a portion, like a snippet of it is that we can see. And so what's important for the listeners, what's important for you all to understand too is that you too are a part of somebody else's assignment, and that you too are the answer to somebody else's prayer. And so hiding behind the things that we feel we need to keep as a secret because
Mm-hmm.
you feel alone is actually keeping you from being able to fully live your best life, but it's also keeping another sister that's in your network that needs you from being able to see that she can find her strength through your vulnerability and
Mm-hmm.
your ability to connect and empathize with her pain, her struggle.
Yeah.
And you too can help her activate her joy. So I don't want to keep you all long, but I do want you to know how you can actually gain access to these beautiful pieces that Rochelle has available in the Beatific Collection. So would you tell them how they can be able to see more of your jewelry and have access to those beautiful t-shirts and mugs?
Okay, you can find me online. My website is thebeatificcollection.com. That's TheBeatific collection.com. And there you will find I have my jewelry on there, t-shirts, mugs, and um, other accessories. And I'm also on Facebook and Instagram, the Beatific Collection.
Awesome, awesome. It was something I looked up beatific the other day. Because I actually, I hadn't heard that word before I met you.
Yes.
Up. The definition listed online.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I really got excited. You know me, it's little things that gets me excited. And so I just want to read it really quickly. So beatific, blissfully happy. Have a beatific smile, right? The synonyms were rapturous, joyful, ecstatic, um, seraphic, blissful, serene, happy, right? And beaming. And then even it had imparting holy bliss, blessed, exalted, sublime, heavenly, holy, divine, glorious. I just thought all of those things, it made me feel good inside
Yeah.
just saying them. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice or not, but it's amazing how certain words and certain things can really resonate with you. Um, and so, ladies, listen, what is it? What is it that you need to do? What is it that you want to do to activate more joy in your life? What is it that, what is that one thing, one simple thing that you can do today that makes your heart smile inside, that just makes your heart leap and make you feel yummy and juicy? And yes, I say yummy and juicy a lot. Like, I'm that corny girl. But those words really resonate with me because that's what life is about. It's meant to be lived, it's not
Mm-hmm.
meant to be tolerated.
Yep. It's so true.
So, is there anything that you want to share or that you want our listeners to know before we close out?
I just want to let everybody know that we are put here not to just toil, for lack of a better word, and to just work and be caught up in everything. We're here to actually enjoy life, and to help others along the way. So life is meant, like you said, life is meant to be lived, life is meant to be enjoyed, and there's nothing wrong with doing things for ourselves and doing things that make us happy. So like Melanie said, find something that makes you joyful, find something that you enjoy, and do it, because you deserve it, and your loved ones deserve it too, because when you are happy and you're joyful, that makes you you know able to serve better. So it's something, you deserve joy, you deserve happiness, so whatever it is, find it.
Yes, we can just release our commitment to struggle, right? We don't have to be all work and no play.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much possibility in that land of play that it actually helps you be more creative and
Yeah.
more productive in all of those different things. So, what is that thing for you? Yes, I'm going to keep asking you, what is that one thing for you? I'm going to share this really quickly. I saw something the other day where someone that I follow, who is amazing, by the way. Her name is Varian Brandon, and she had posted that she was going to do in 2017. She was going to do things that she hadn't done before, and someone had suggested that she dance in the rain. And so it was raining, and she remembered that someone made that suggestion. And so she went outside and she had someone videotape her, and she is out there. The raindrops are falling, and she is just dancing. And watching her, and she just took her time and got her little groove on in the rain, right?
Mm-hmm.
And watching her do that, like watching the video actually would brought joy in, right? Because it was something just as simple as dancing in the rain. Like, who cares about hair? Who cares about whether you look crazy? She was literally standing outside grooving, just getting her jam on. And I just thought that was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Just simply amazing.
Yeah, even if it seems crazy, it makes you happy, do it.
Yeah, it seems crazy. And so, like, even for me, one of the things for me that I've committed to for years, I've been saying that I'm going to learn how to swim. I love being around water. I'm a Pisces and I don't know how to swim. And so I made the commitment and I made a phone call and I said I'm going to get myself registered and I'm starting swim lessons at the end.
Yay!
Uber excited. You know, I'm going to think I'm Flipper, right? But just the thought of knowing that I'm going to learn how to swim and that I actually have a date on the calendar
Mhm.
for when that's going to happen, it excites me. And I am so looking forward to it because someday it's not on the calendar. One day, one
Mhm.
of these days, when the time is right, those dates aren't on the calendar.
Yeah.
So I have a date, May 31st. I start swimming, and I'm excited about that. So anyway, thank you all for joining us. I just remember that your freedom lies within your decision to say yes. Yes
Mhm.
to who you are, yes to what you want, and yes to what you stand for. So what will you say yes to today? I have one thing that you can say yes to. I have a new program that's coming out. It's called Step Into Your Yes. So you can say yes to you by stepping into your yes. During my 6 week coaching program, it's going to be amazing. You're going to have so much support with other women, and you'll have me right there to help to guide you through your choices. It's going to be a space where we accept each other, we embrace each other, and we grow together. We're going to annihilate self limiting beliefs. We're going to come up with an action plan. We're going to get you moving and release anything that's been standing in your way so that you can just thrive, right? Because I really want you to live. I don't want to keep all this joy to myself. I don't want just Rochelle and I to be the only two experiencing this joy. I want to share it with my sisters. So here I am, extending my heart and my hand to you. Come on, will you join me? Just text yes, yes to 44222, and that will get you in contact with me and I'll share the deets with you. I'm also going to post the information at the end of this video so that you can have access. But come on, step into your yes, join us. Let's increase the bliss. Let's have joyful intent. Until next time, love and blessings. This is Melanie Foote-Davis, founder of the Love and Freedom Academy. Thank you, Rochelle. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Melanie.